brothers and sisters, I am the Reverend Dr. Medad Birungi Aisu, the founder and president of World Shine Ministries, Uganda. I am talking about contending for your destiny. Contending for your destiny. There are so many things that we contend with. The word contending can mean fighting for something, struggling for something, trying to recover something. So contention is a fight, like when people are in a ring. And today I want to talk about David, how he contended with Goliath, and it's going to be a series of teachings about David and Goliath. But it's very, very important to know that there are steps which you can take as you contend for your destiny. The first one, you must know your giants. You must understand your giants. You must recognize your giants. And David, first of all, recognized that Goliath was a very big giant. Goliath had threatened Israel. And so David had to recognize Goliath as a very powerful man, as a very terroristic man, as a man who was using spiritual powers in his fight against the nations around him. And so, as we contend for our destiny, David was contending for the destiny of their nation. But for us, we are contending for the destinies of our families, destinies of our finances, destinies of our nations, our communities, our tribes. We must recognize our giants. They may be personal giants affecting you as a person. They may be family giants that are holding the family. They may be clan giants holding your clan. Institutional giants holding institutions. Political giants holding the politics of a nation or a continent. Religious giants holding the churches and holding fellowships. National giants, the giants that may be holding a nation. Continental giants, giants that are holding continents. Global giants, giants that are holding the international, global sphere. So we must recognize these giants. And so if you are contending for your destiny, it depends on which destiny you are contending for. If you are contending for a nation, contending for individuals, the first step you need to take is recognize your giants. And once you recognize your giants, then it will be very, very easy for you to contend. For example, family giants, alcoholism and drug addiction, sexual immorality and sexual perversions, poverty and hardships, bloodshed, murder, reproductive problems, occultism, tribalism, a history of premature death, and persistent reproaches, patterns of judgments every year in your family, patterns of near success syndrome, nightmares and demonic oppression, persistent sicknesses defying diagnosis, marital problems, unprecedented accidents, chronic death and financial problems, marriage ineligibility and late marriages, automatic failure, fruitless efforts, buried potential, chronic hostility, sleeplessness, evil magnetic syndromes, unrestrained anger, faulty marriage foundations, violence and abuse in families, miscarriages, reproductive and menstrual problems, rejection, abandonment, rebellion, arrogance and pride, vagabondism, and so many other giants that affect families, including prodigality. So it is very, very, very important to recognize your giants, because if you don't recognize your enemy, you cannot defeat your enemy. So the first thing David did was to recognize that there was a problem, and the giant was Goliath. He recognized his weapons, that he was having spears and arrows. He recognized that he was a general for 40 years. He recognized that he was using words to intimidate people, and he recognized that he was using spiritual powers. And so, my brothers and sisters, it's very, very important that when you are contending, when you are praying, when you are having spiritual warfare, you need to understand the giants you are fighting, so that you could be able to take them on head on. So as we journey into David, we need first of all to know that that is the first step. You cannot fight an enemy you don't know. You cannot kill a giant you don't know. You cannot be successful on something you don't know, because knowledge is power. Information is authority. Jesus Christ is our best example, because he's the knowledge of God. And before he came to the world, he first understood the world. That's why they sent angels to do spiritual mapping before Jesus Christ came. And so, my brothers and sisters, you need to do spiritual mapping, you need to do research, and know the enemy you are fighting. And I recommend that you go into a war room. Before soldiers fight, they have to go in a war room. They plan the war. They know where the enemy is. They know where he sleeps. They know the weapons he has. They know the type of vehicles and transport and communication he has. So it is very important to go in a war room and plan a spiritual warfare. That is what we call the first step of contending for your destiny, as knowing your giants. And once you know them, then you know how to attack them. So may God bless you abundantly, exceedingly, as you sit down in your war room and plan this contention that you are going to have. Most people, when they are going to fight, they are disciplined, they prepare, they plan, they do exercises. They have to go through a discipline to understand the strengths of their enemies before they attack them. And so that's the first principle you need to understand. You need to know the enemy. You need to understand your giants before you fight them. And you can do that when you do research and when you do spiritual mapping. God bless you as you prepare to contend for your destiny.